same time, from crematorium 1, they start to run out, everybody got killed. And everybody, they took them back with some big holes on their heads like this. We are only 100 guys on crematorium 2 remaining. They didn't touch us. They got us to crematorium 1 to burn.
We were coming back, and we were on roll call. This is an incident I did not tell you. And we were standing there to be counted, and all of a sudden a guy on a motorcycle, a Scharführer, drove up, and he went over to the block eldest, and he called the scribe, you know, the guy that we used to call him Schreiber, okay? And he came and he picked out 50 guys. In our barracks there were about 200 or 220 or something like that, 50. And we were put aside, and I said, oh my God, what selections? We don't look that bad to be selected, you know. A truck came up, and that was the truck that used to carry the bodies to the crematoria. And we were all asked, not shouted at or not beaten, to get on the truck. Just get on the truck, you know. Get on a truck, and we drive, and all of a sudden we are driving into a path where there's grass on the left and on the right, and we see the crematoria. That's the first time I saw the crematoria. I saw it the second time in number 5 at a later date.
What number was this one?
I don't know. I can't remember. I do not remember. I'm not sorry. It's down there. We are asked to get off very politely. And this was, the roll call was in the late evening, you know, like 5, 6 o'clock. We're going downstairs, the steps that are going downstairs. We're standing in front of a door that has a iron bar, short iron bar, locked. There's a window, small little window. It wasn't actually a window. It was like one of those holes that you have in the door in order to look out or in or something like that. 2 SS men come. They put on gas masks, opened the door, and we saw hell on earth. A whole room full of dead bodies. We found out later, 2 days later, that there was a revolt or something like that of the Sonderkommando of Greeks, and they had 2 chambers full of dead bodies that they gassed before, and nobody could take them out. So they took us, because you see, the idea, if ever you stepped across the line into a crematorium, that the only way you could do that, or 2 ways you could do it, either you were dead, or to be shot, or you worked in the Sonderkommando. But nobody from the outside this was taboo. It wasn't to go in there. So we are given short straps of leather straps, and some of the guys got iron hooks down there that were bent with a point down there, and we tell to take the Jew bastards out. And we have this odor, and we start to cough. They had gas masks on. We start to cough. It was like amandin, something like that, or mustard, or a horrible smell. And that sight, don't even ask. You see bodies that were, some people had their fingers in somebody else's eye socket. You saw usually children on the very bottom, and you have people on top of them, and then you see stronger people on the top, as if they would gasp for air down there, and we had to drag them out, which we did. Then we got hoses, we had to wash them off, and we had to wash off the room, and it took us almost until about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then there were some trolleys down there, we had to put them, and then these trolleys went up to the ovens, and we didn't cremate anything. And we were wet and dirty and filthy and coughing like hell. I should have gotten lung cancer down there. And we went back to the barracks. I'm an amateur photographer. That's my hobby. If I ever wanted a camera, I wanted to have a camera, not to take the dead people in the crematoria. I wanted to have a camera to put on the people that saw us when we went back to our barracks. They thought we were ghosts, because when they took us, they knew that they didn't take us to a dance or something like that. They knew something. They thought that we would be executed. They didn't say or knew that we're going to go to the crematoria. They just thought by some reason or others. But you know, the funny funny part. It's not funny. The thing that occurred to me within 2 or 3 hours, I said to myself, I don't think you're going to get killed. And I answered myself, you know why? Because the scribe didn't take my number. And if he didn't take your number, you weren't written off.
Did anyone say anything while you were working?
No, not a word. Not one word. I don't think that nobody, I don't remember anybody saying boo. The only voices that we heard was, then later on there were 3 SS-men down there, was schneller, schneller, quicker, 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 you know, work faster, da da da, and that's all we heard. But nobody beat us, funny enough.
About how many bodies were there?
See, about 800, 900. That's my guess.
Can you estimate the size of the gas chamber?
Oh yeah. Oh, we saw it. We went there. We really had a look of what the gas chamber. You know, we were talking being gassed. We didn't know what gas. While we were in the camp, who the hell knew what a gas chamber looked like? We didn't know. We were gassed. We were vergassed. That's it. But we didn't know what it looked like. It looked like in the ceiling. The ceiling was about, I guess as high as that ceiling here, which is what, about 2.5 meters, 3 meters, something like that. And there were some shower heads that were building down there, and there was a column in the center, a column that had wire around it. And that's when we washed it up, we found crystals down there that were still there. We didn't know this was cyclone B, and you know, nobody's a smart ass. We do the work that you know that afterwards, but you didn't know it at the time. I knew that not what type, but that gas was involved, because while I worked in Canada, there was a hut down there in Canada where gas was stored, and this SS-man that we found in 1970. I think I gave you the date on that thing here, didn't I? In 1972, it was brought on trial in Vienna. That worked in Canada. He was the gas cashier. In other words, the meter reader. He received a message to take his truck that had a red cross on 2 sides and one on the top, which was one of those small delivery truck-like things. And he went to the hut, he had the key, he took out the cans. We knew it was gas. We didn't know what it was for. And he put it in the truck, and he went to the crematoriums down there and did his job. That was Franz Wunsch.
When did you hear this? This was after.
No. We knew that. Oh, we knew that while we were working down there that he did that.
Had you ever heard the expression of a shower or anything like that?
No, not until I saw it myself.
Did you tell people?
Yep. Yes, I did. As many as I could reach. Which weren't too many, because you didn't trust anybody for something like that for one reason only. Remember I told you the story about when you burn yourself once, you'll be twice as shy? When this came out of me with this school pal of mine, when he asked me where his father was and his sister, and I told him there, I learned a lesson. So I told the two guys from Vienna that were working with me in Canada about that, and said, we know about it. They knew about it. They knew.
Was this the only time you witnessed this?
Oh, no. There was another time. The other time was during the when the Hungarian Jews came in, and I was still with the roofers. And one day, we never knew where we were going to work. You know, Capo went in the front, Seppel went in the front down there, and reported so many people going out at the door. There was a hut down there, you know, with a guard, and a guy that was the main registrar, and wrote in that Kommando so-and-so, for instance, us, Dachdecker-Kommando, 200 man, 200 men worked out. And we walked, and all of a sudden we walked, and we walked, and we walked, and we walked to the crematoria. There was another crematoria. I believe it was number 5. It was the last one on the right-hand side. And the man in charge down there, not only there, but in charge of all 5 crematorias, were Hauptscharführer Otto Moll, M-O-L-L, the Cyclops. He had one eye, one glass eye. And behind his back, he was it. I mean, this is Mr. If you talk about Auschwitz, you talk about Otto Moll. He was it. He was the guy that there I saw some Sonderkommando, not at work, but I saw apparently what happened was that the capacity for gas people was enough, but the cremation facilities weren't large enough, and they worked day and night. And the reason that we went down there were to fix the roof, because the shingles took off around the chimney. And when we walked in there, Otto Moll gave us a reception and told us in no uncertain terms, first of all, everybody's a swine. That's the address that we received, ihr Schweine. Anybody's looking around himself, I'm a good shot, and then he just pointed his pistol and shot a guy down there from the Sonderkommando, right in his leg or in his hip or something, like, just to show us what kind of a hero he was, and how well he can handle a gun. And we were put on the roof. Curiosity kills the cat, and as a human being, or every human, you're curious. No matter how dangerous it may be, or how rough the surroundings, or how somebody threatens you, I don't know. It's like somebody say, close your eyes, and you just go the light through it, and you think your eyes are closed, but you see something. They dug about, well, must have been about 5 ditches. Long ditches, but I'd say 40 meters long, 8 meters wide, with bodies that were just smoldering down there. And new bodies came in. I put on top of that. They even created a drain to drain the fat off on the bottom at an angle. That's how the ditch was constructed. And Mr. Moller was running around like a dompteur in a circus looking at lions. And that was very bad. That was really bad.